Hey, Glenn, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. You, Korbs?
Very good. Thanks for
Yeah.
asking. It's great to see you. I obviously know you and know your story, but by way of kicking off this conversation, would you mind just starting with a brief introduction about yourself and your trading experience prior to joining the profile method?
Yeah, my name's Glenn. I live in the UK, live in a small town called Wigan, which is near Greater Manchester. About 10 years ago, I've did a little bit of Forex trading, got really hurt with that, and never really did any trading since until COVID came along. Had a little bit of free time then, and did some sort of research on YouTube about indicators, and got really back into it, just learning a little bit slowly.
Yeah, very good. So starting off, going back 10 years ago, having a bit of a rocky start, and then around COVID time, like a lot of people, sparking that interest again and getting back into it. Can I ask you, what was the motivation for joining the profile method?
Um, I did obviously quite a bit of research on YouTube and that. There's, the marketplace is vast for new traders. If anything, it's too vast. There's too much information out there. What I actually did is I realized that if I was going to be successful on my trading journey, I had to put a bit of a toolkit list together. And what actually happened right at the top of my list was I knew I needed a mentor. Um, the reason for that is, you can't really do this on your own off the internet. You need someone to sort of train you, bounce the ideas off, that kind of thing. So I started looking about. Obviously, you have a big presence on the internet, TradeArc, very good reviews. But what I liked mainly with yourself was it was up to date. The material was up to date. It was that day before or that week before. It was a constant moving sort of like TradeAct website, which was really good, and it gave me confidence that obviously it were moving. Then from there, obviously, with the live trades you put on, one of the things what really hit me was there's quite a lot who don't show you losses. And you was one who did show the losses. Plus obviously watching the videos and that, I think I probably chose TradeAct for various sort of reasons above others, in the sense of it was just more my approach, more for me. I felt it was more for me.
Can you describe from the process of joining TradeAct, what was your experience like, specifically going through the learning part of the process from the method?
Yeah. When obviously you eventually join. Well, firstly, I had a conversation with Bjorn, I think it was at the time. He obviously listened to me, listened how we talked about how he felt TradeAct could help. The point he made was, he felt that obviously I wasn't really structured. I kind of knew that because I was searching for that next stage, if that's the right word. From there, obviously, I eventually made my decision. But first of all, I just purchased the volume formula. Just really dipped my toe in the water. I didn't really want to sort of dive in too quickly. I was just making sure it was right for me. Very cautious before obviously I purchased. I would recommend the volume formula. It's a great introduction, to the volume profile, and even if you didn't use it and you didn't incorporate it in your trading, it's at a real good value. It's definitely worth a look. Moving on from that, I decided not straight away. It probably took me a couple of weeks. I was very cautious, did a bit more searching on YouTube, did obviously a bit more watching yourself. And eventually I decided, yeah, I've got to obviously find a mentor. I've got to obviously find a system, and get my head down really, and choose something and get going. I wasted a lot of time really on YouTube and trying to do it myself. I had some great little strategies I made from lagging indicators. And I did have success, but the only trouble were there were no consistency there. I'd have success one day, the following day I'd lose. Um, so that was my main reason really for the timing was right where I was to connect with Trader.
Yeah. Now, understanding that you were looking for more structure and maybe didn't have a very good method at all, and being that you had some trading experience, but were still new to the trading scene generally, how did you find the profile method did as far as teaching the concepts and the strategies around trading?
I think teaching the concepts and the strategies around trading, it's really, really good. Within a weekend, I was actually picking things up. And what I did is, I mean, not to, I'll talk obviously points in the method, but not to describe it. What I actually did is, with the sort of value high and value low, I actually started looking back over what I'd been doing with lagging indicators. And what actually happened is it kind of told me why them lagging indicators weren't working for me. And I kind of got that in my head quite early on, and then I started, whoa, this method's a little bit more, a little bit more, what's the word? A little bit more stronger than what I've been looking at. And I started getting some belief quite quickly.
Can you talk a little bit about the experience with how you found it helpful, or if there was shortcomings around the ongoing support, so the community, the coaching calls, the live experiences?
Well, when obviously you join, you get linked up with the community. I mean, that community to me it's been my rock. That it really has. The guys on there, again, you can post something on, they'll give you their opinions, but there's nobody pushing it down your neck, if that's the word. Because one thing I've realized, most of us want to make our own decisions on which route we take. But what you've got there is you've got a community that are throwing opinions on posts, and you can read them. I think the second weekend after sort of like getting into the training videos, I actually spent going back over 3 years of posts, and the information I got from that was unbelievable. And there's people still about in the community years later. And that was something else what gave me obviously confidence early on. It is about belief. And I mean, I've got belief in the trade app method, the profile method. It really is about belief.
Yeah. Can you talk about this? What has it been like as far as your achievements and any of your benchmarkers of success that you've had since joining the profile method?
I really sort of said, I've got to do something about this sim. And from there, that's where it happened. And I do think if any new trader listening to this can really pick up at this point, you can save yourself a lot of time, which unfortunately I wasted. What I did is I took the sim on board. I obviously traded it with proper risk management. What actually happened is I did that from about March to September, and every single account I traded, when I obviously took my P&L down, that was all evals sim. I actually was quite surprised, but it never happened. But in a 6-month period, I made profit on the actual sim, on the demo. From there, obviously, that really drew off my confidence. So what happened then is I managed then to obviously start again really on the evals. I was passing evals probably 70% of the time. You know, I always had, obviously, I was still making errors and had to learn from them. And then what actually happened is that I think it was November time when I took off my records of my trading for November. I just had one red day. And then really like what the belief and my confidence that generated. It is important, obviously, that you keep records. That's another big thing, you know, and I've always been very good at that. So I knew I had one red day in the month. I had my printout, I had my journaling. And then on December, what happened is in November, I passed obviously the evals and that. And then in December, and I do believe you can only do this with consistency. You can pass an eval with really sort of like having a good day and then just trade, obviously, minimal for your rest of your trading days. But for your payout, you've got to have consistency. Anyway, in December, 10 days trading, absolute solid consistency. And what a feeling when that first payout came of $2,000. It was just amazing. And that, I would say, that is the biggest milestone, what just propels it, that actually propels your trading journey. It's just the feeling, you know, people who've done it know the feeling. People who are working towards doing it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do it, especially with this method, especially. It's only a matter of time, but the feeling and how it makes, like your confidence goes from, it's just like whack. It's like your blood's confidence. It's like your full body is confident. And I think all it is you can do this once, you can do it again. And that's how the mind thinks. What I did then is I really had consistency down to a T, and I traded that same account in January and took obviously another 2,000 payout on that account. And then from there, obviously, I do believe like that was my training completed. I think what I've got now is at that point I had a good skill level through TradeHack and the system. And as we've discussed, because the training's been really good, you know, I'm really fighting mindset now to get me to where I want to be.
100%. And with the, you know, get first evaluations passed, getting your first payouts, and the path you're on now of more accumulation, what aspect of the profile method would you say was the most beneficial to reaching a level of consistency and seeing these results?
I mean, we could spend hours talking about it. You know, it's like I say, it's really given me belief. I believe in it. I have added a few little bits, as you know, we've talked about it. You know, my entries, I do enter with volume, which, you know, this system allows you to do that. It really does. It's not you must copy this system. You can I've incorporated this as my core to trading, and I have a few of my own little things what just add on. You know, it's great. You know, so I'm not copying. I'm learning from TradeHack and just adding a few little of my own things. And you know, it really, again, for belief, a person who thinks that it's your own, it's your baby, like TradeHack is your baby. Thankfully, you're sharing it with us, which is absolutely brilliant. But for you, it's very, very easy because you developed it all. For me, I need to add a few little bits just for my mindset. So I think I'm not just a copycat. And it's great for that. It's really, really great for that. It is. It's a great system. Um,
And it's a natural
every,
progression of it, of being able to, have that structure. And then, of course, you are not me. And
yeah,
it's no benefit in trying to be me, but
no,
to
no,
take a
no,
little bit of your own and to morph it into it. It's the exact right steps to take.
yeah.
Let me ask you this. If somebody's listening to this and maybe they're on the fence about joining TradeAct, what would you say to them?
Firstly, I would say it's worked for me, yeah, and it's worked for many. What I would say is, if you're a type of person like I am, you really are very cautious. So I would say, Luke, start sort of like looking at your material on YouTube, yeah. Invest in the formula. Basically, dip your toe in. Lift the stone up and have a look underneath. Who knows? Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. It's lift the stone up and have a look, see what's under there. And you can more or less sort of like, that's what I did. And obviously that's the reason I'm where I am today, really, with my trading,
Yeah.
and it is the method. It is the profile method.
Let me ask you this. How do you see the impact of the profile method on the long term in your trading career?
I think it'll always be there as the core. I
Hmm.
do think as well that, skill level and chart time is very important. You see people, they start trading, and look, some people are gifted. I've seen people very, very successful within 3 months. They're gifted. I suppose it's like a sports player. Why can someone just do it straight away? Yet others need years of training. But what I would say is it it's important really to have something as your core, what can be developed as the trading marketplace kind of like evolves. You've got to be a trader who's flexible. And that's why I say the profile method for me will always be my core. What I put around it, I would imagine, will change.
Hmm. Very good. Glenn, thank you for the time. It was great to hear
No,
from you and to dive into this.
yeah, brilliant. That superb. Really enjoyed it, and thanks for obviously your time. And as I said to you, the mentoring side. I mean, I was lucky enough to have some, a good quality time with you on the trading live, which was really one-on-one, and that really helped me. It is important without mentoring, and you're good at what you do, and it is a personal thing. It's not just like the profile method, it's the mentor as well. So thank you very much for helping me along on my journey.
You got it, brother. Very good.